Well, hello, party people, and welcome the fuck back to the fucking show. I'm your fucking host, May. What the fuck is up?
I'm Neo.
I was trying really hard to get this demonetized immediately.
Oh, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I
know
in
that
fact,
this is. I know you're the person making the money off of this, so I just thought that it would be kind of funny if I fucked you over immediately.
Burn that bridge.
Yeah, just burn that bridge real
Thank
quick.
you.
Yeah, you know, season 3 is all
appreciate
about
that.
burning bridges.
Yeah.
It's good to meet you today. My name is still May. Are you still Neo?
I am employed Neo now. So.
Employed Neo.
Employed.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that they made me sign a thing saying I wouldn't post anything spicy to social media, and I was like, ha ha.
Every fucking day I post something
Idiots.
spicy to social media.
Weekly.
Yeah, weekly.
Posting content to get me fired.
Exactly. So let's get Neo fired today
Yeah.
on the podcast. There's so many things, but first off, the topic of today, we're talking about Sante Sangre. We are looking in our living room. We can see a mountain from the window where we are. So things are improving.
Fun fact: there's actually a road to the top of the mountain. I learned today.
Bitch, I've been hearing about that shit from Nora for the last couple of days. We've been talking about all the possibilities of literally driving up a fucking mountain.
You want to do it this weekend?
This weekend?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Apparently, there's like a donut store up there.
So you want to go to the top of the mountain to get a donut?
Absolutely.
Okay, bitch.
Anyway.
I'll go to the top of the mountain to get a donut.
Speaking about top of the mountain, top of the holy mountain, Jodorowsky.
Oh, yeah.
Sante
Okay.
Sangre.
Well, so...
But first, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Machine Age Productions and their RPG, #iHunt.
Yes.
Blood
Thing.
YouTube show,
Yeah.
Ambient Dream Studio, Etsy
Yes.
store.
Good shit.
More all about them in an unhinged and unprepared ad halfway into the show.
But also remember that if you, at home, think that me saying the things I say are meaningful and valuable, you can give us a lot of money and we'll advertise your product/service. And also, I would like to say, and we do that at patreon.com/excrement. And also, too, second thing is completely lost now in my brain. So we're going to move on to Holy Blood, or Sante Sangre,
Yeah.
is the film today.
Jodorowsky really likes putting holy in the title.
He does. Well, I think he is very interested in, I don't know, let's call it religion. I don't know. I don't know if he necessarily is like in love with the concept, but I will say that he objectively is interested in religion. He has some thoughts about it.
Well, and also
some ideas.
A quick caveat.
Yes.
If you're listening and you say Jodorowsky, they're talking about Jodorowsky, but Jodorowsky did X. We talked about it in the El Topo episode. So go back,
in the Holy Mountain episode.
and in the Holy Mountain. So go back and watch those. I feel like we've covered all of our bases with Jodorowsky, with the entity of Jodorowsky.
So it's worth mentioning this is the third in the Holy Trinity of Jodorowsky movies. We got El Topo, movie about gunfighter who fucking sucks and then finds a purpose and becomes like a monk man and then burns alive. We've got The Holy Mountain, literally a movie about the Illuminati being tricked into doing a bunch of drugs and killing their brains. Very funny. And now we're at quite possibly Jodorowsky's funniest film. I thought
You thought?
it was hilarious.
Huh.
These are jokes. Very serious movie. Except, I will say, I'm now remembering sitting here that this is the movie that has like all the fucking clowns in it that appear at the worst possible moments.
But the clowns aren't very funny. They're very sad clowns.
No, they're like horrific clowns. But it's almost funny in an abstract, like, oh, Jesus Christ, look, here comes the fucking sad clown kind of vibe.
Well, like, I think the movie's about like how growing up strips the joy and mirth and whimsy from life, and the show or the movie communicates that by the sad clowns.
Listen, I just want to go on the record and say I've never experienced this. This you're referring to this joy,
This loss of childhood
and
innocence.
loss of childhood innocence. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is very new to me. So I think because I'm so incredibly ignorant and dumb, I'm gonna need you to mansplain the whole plot of the film to me right now while I smoke this joint.
Okay. Okay, so the movie is about a child. I
Ooh.
can't remember his name. Doesn't
Google
matter. One of Jodorowsky's sons. And he is the son of a like a circus ringleader.
Yes.
What do you call them?
A circus ringleader.
Master of ceremonies.
Okay.
Anyway, so the movie starts with them like it's just kind of about this little circus. He has this like crush on on this like little girl who is always has this like white painted face.
Very awkward.
And she's like a ballerina gymnast. Anyway, and so his mother though is less part of the circus and more part of a cult.
Yeah, so okay. I feel like the cult part of this, while being the title of the movie, is 100% the least like developed.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it is what the movie is textually about.
It's really coming after Catholicism, like specifically Catholicism. I think more.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck that Pope.
More than even the Holy Mountain. Like the Holy Mountain comes after religion in general, but Sante Sangre and the bit with the cult or the heresy. I don't know enough about Catholic dogma to know what the right thing to call
you
that offshoot
not knowing
is.
something about a religion.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why are you intentionally excluding Catholics from your analysis?
I'm not excluding Catholics.
You're
just saying
intentionally excluding Catholics.
I don't know the right word for a coven offshoot.
A coven of Catholics.
Anyway, a minor schism. I don't even know. Okay,
a minor schism. Yeah,
schism.
That's what I'd call it.
Schism of faith. So
yes.
these like nuns have found this like pool of like blood from their saints. I can't remember the saints.
Their saint is an armless, ever bleeding person.
Yeah, and so
Cindy,
like a bishop.
Cindy, did you just walk up and smoke some weed? What the fuck? Anyway, go on. Please continue.
So the bishop shows up and declares it a heresy and says that the pool of like blood is just red dye.
Yes.
But he does that because a businessman wants the land the coven is on.
Right.
And so...
And of course, she's like, no, not paint! Holy blood!
Yeah, Sante Sangre.
I promise! Sante Sangre.
Anyway, and so they do a small massacre and...
They do.
And just bulldoze them. So the mom gets saved, but she's kind of like broken about it. And so she kind of joins the circus. And I can't remember exactly how like what events happen when, but I think first after that their like circus elephant dies, and they have a
fucking funeral.
They have a clown funeral for an elephant.
Yeah, and let me tell you what. The thing about Jodorowsky is like you really don't need to seek out psychedelics genuinely. Like you really don't.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to go find them. Just turn on Sante Sangre for like a whole 5 minutes and just watch that elephant funeral, and you will have a weirder metaphysical experience than anything that you would ever experience on drugs.
Something Jodorowsky does a lot, but he really leans into in Sante Sangre is like a scene will start as as almost like an amateur film of like a street.
Yes.
And like, in South America. And then as the scene progresses, it just gets like
immensely detailed
and like
yes.
and just like and you just get sucked in. So it like goes from Jodorowsky filmed this to like it's like the scene is all you can think about. It is all encompassing.
Yeah.
And then he jumps back to like nearly amateur film. It's like, whoa. And you get like fucking whiplash. Like, What?
So I haven't forced you to watch The Dance of Reality yet, but I probably will. The Dance of Reality is his autobiographical film, and it's like from the perspective of him as a child. Matter of fact, the poster is an image of literally Jodorowsky holding the lead actor.
Oh.
Like, okay. Anyway, there are parts in that where they do that exact thing where it's just like very cheap, very shoddy effect work. And then all-encompassing scene drags on for 45 fucking minutes. You know what I mean?
But the cheap scene serves to like reel you in. Like it's just like slowly like just sucks you in, and then it's like, I got you. Haha.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, after the elephant funeral, the dad is like, says to the young boys, like, I'm gonna give you like the gift of bravery. I'm gonna give you a charm that'll make you brave, and you won't feel fear anymore.
So
he uses like a Bowie knife to tattoo an eagle onto the kid's chest, and the dad also has like the eagle on his chest.
Right. So it's like,
and so he like tattoos.
Every man has a symbol. Yeah. I got mine.
Yeah, and so he gives him this tattoo, and it's like really bloody and horrible, and the kid's screaming, and he's like, now you are a man.
Now you are a man. I like how Jodorowsky like does that in every fucking movie, where he's like, bury a picture of your father and mother. You are a man. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's almost like he got forced into like being an adult way too young.
Yeah, like at 4 years old or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's unfortunately kind of common in certain parts of the world, and it's kind of tragic.
I mean, yeah, you do have to grow up way too fast. That's a fact.
Anyway, and so they get the tattoo. Then there's this like chick with all these like tattoos, and like, oh, hello, cat.
Cindy is intentionally trying to cause problems this stream.
Yeah.
It's because she smoked some of my weed, and now she's being a little bitch.
So the father's cheating with someone else in the carnival or the circus. The main character's mother finds out, and she like throws acid on them.
Yeah, go in her face, like, fuck your beauty, I will destroy your face.
Yeah, and then kills the dad, right? No. The dad cuts off her arms
and leaves her for dead.
Yes. And then so the son stays with the mom to help take care of her.
And taking care of her, I think, slowly transitions and turns into him just literally standing behind her 24/7 and like being her arms, like being them.
Yeah, so
like
he gets
pantomiming.
He gets these like acrylic nails, and like and
he has like very femme hands. He puts like lotion on them because they're not his arms anymore.
Yeah,
he's gotta do them for other purposes.
Yes, like play piano for her or dance for her.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so but he wants other companionship. So he's trying to find women to have relationships with. And then his mom like takes control of him and then has him murder them.
Yeah, so then it turns into a giallo movie, which is really fucking weird. Do you know what that means?
Nope.
Okay, so a giallo is like a very specific kind of like Italian slasher that's mostly known for like stark lighting and almost shocking levels of intense violence.
Mm-hmm.
Almost beyond anything American noir ever did.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like American noir at times. So I would say this period of the movie is somehow weirdly giallo to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very visually designed, but ultimately, a gruesome depiction of like a slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like a reversal of like the Psycho metaphor too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Psycho?
Nope.
Jesus Christ. Psycho. Okay, do you know what Psycho is?
It's Hitchcock torturing actors.
Well, fuck yeah, but no. Like, so the bit in Psycho is that Norman Bates is his mother.
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like, whoa, he's cross-dressing as his mother and then murdering people and then taking off the cross-dressing things and being like, that ain't me. I didn't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That was my mom. And then like at the end of the movie, they have this very bullshit moment where they have like a cop come in and explain like what's going on inside Norman Bates' mind. And so the cop is like, Norman Bates has the soul of his mother living inside of his brain like a multiple personality, and he can't get rid of her. So he must kill. Anyway, so it's like Sante Sangre is like the literalization
Mm-hmm.
of that metaphor. Like he literally is doing his mother's bidding, very literally, like as literally as it could be.
Yeah, and he can't like control himself. It's like something comes over him,
Exactly.
and he's like, "Oh, time to kill."
Time to kill. Relatable.
Anyway, so
Continue.
he starts looking for women who can defeat his mother, and like and can
Okay. You know, as you tell me these things, I remember more and more. I've seen the movie many times, but we watched it right before we left Texas, kind of. Like, it's been a while. And I did forget that he goes out and finds a woman who's a
Luchador?
bodybuilder. Yeah, a woman luchador to to beat the shit out of his
the
mom.
introduction is she's like fighting 7 men.
Yeah, he wants a Chad wife to beat up his mother.
Yeah.
What kind of Oedipus complex is that?
Yeah.
What's that called?
Anyway, well, doesn't matter because he still kills her.
Yes, he does.
Anyway, so then he finally finds the girl from his childhood,
Yes.
who doesn't speak in the entire film.
No, she does not.
But so he finds her. Well, there's also like a scene where he goes out to where he's buried all the women,
Yeah.
and like their ghosts haunt him.
Yeah, and he's like, damn.
Yeah. So he finds the girl from his childhood. She still has like her like painted porcelain face. And then she keeps doing
She
this.
has the clowns with her, right?
I think.
Yeah.
And then so the mom's trying to get him to kill her. And then she touches his chest, like opens his shirt. I can't remember if he had his shirt open or anything, but then she like makes a bird with her hands, puts it on his chest, and has it like fly away. Yeah. And then he's able to finally kill his mother.
Yes.
After he's like freed of the like bonds of his like masculinity,
masculine responsibilities.
and then he like takes the acrylic nails off of his like hands.
Yeah.
And then they like walk outside, or she like guides him outside, and the cops show up and like put your hands up, and he's like, my hands.
And he like
They're
puts them up and he's like,
mine.
sure, I don't care because they're mine. And like the bit is immediately he is punished by the state.
Yeah.
And he
And then-
loses his freedom.
And then the movie ends.
You're right. But I think the bit near the end there partially is that his mother like died a long time ago and he was just perpetuating this within himself.
Yeah.
Is that the impression that you get from the film?
Well, I can see it going both ways. I can see it both from the like, his, he's perpetuating his mother, but also I can see it from the like, toxic mother standpoint of like, it's like some people just can't get out from under the like thumb of their parents. And it's like,
yes.
Like I had a friend who's like, he's like 28. And he's like, I hate living at home. And we're like, you have like a job, you make money, go get your own place. He's like, well, no, my mom controls like how I spend my money. It's like, you're 28,
Dude.
Like, dude.
What? Yeah, well, like, okay, as of like 3 years ago or whatever, or 2 years ago now, or a year ago now, or some bullshit, like all of my like banking accounts and like everything was connected to my mom.
Yeah.
Like, cause like she just like set it up that way,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I never questioned it. Just like, you know, all of these things is like set up and everything kind of has this weird, I think, hook nature to it, where it's like, yes, the benefit is that you have a bank account, but hook, right? You need me to view the bank account.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
perpetuating the need for such
just,
things, and it's like, well, it's like they can never really grow up or feel like they have their own
right
hands.
You know, and it's like you're ultimately like crippling your child, like
That,
because of your own narcissism.
you're taking away their hands to supplement your own. You know, play piano for me is basically like, you know, stop using your personality and having fun and come entertain mama.
Yeah, mama and her friends.
Yeah, exactly. Lord knows I know that one.
Yeah.
I've been there before.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, fun. So, as I said, I think earlier, this is in the holy trinity of Jodorowsky movies, this is the third one. This is like his 80s movie. There's a lot of elements at play here. This is his return to filmmaking after Dune fell through. Didn't go well for him. I don't know if you know that, guys, but Jodorowsky tried to make a Dune movie in the 70s.
Yeah.
It went about as great as you thought, given the fact that you have not seen a Jodorowsky Dune movie, which means that he failed miserably.
Great documentary about it, though.
Yeah,
well, and
unfortunately,
also,
that documentary... see, I want to be like, that's the greatest documentary ever, but also Devin Faraci is in that documentary, so...
Who's...
Devin...
I don't even know who that is.
What the So Devin Faraci is a critic who used to work for Birth Movies Death, and he had like a really weird hatred of Damon Lindelof, and he like harassed Damon Lindelof on Twitter every fucking day. Like, why did you do this to Lost? What's wrong with you? Prometheus sucks my butt. Like, and all this shit, just constantly being like harassing him.
The most normal film critic.
Yeah. So then, like a couple years later, he tweeted something like, I don't understand how you couldn't believe women when women are like, hey, you did a rape. And then so like the very first reply was a woman being like, hey, Devin, remember 10 years ago when we were in a bar and you stuck your hand down my pants? And he never replied. He never interacted again. He just deleted his account and he lost his job at Birth Movies Death. But then we found out that he didn't, in fact, lose his job at Birth Movies Death. They gave him an invisible hand role in Birth Movies Death, which, by the way, was run through Draft House. Like Alamo Draft House?
What?
Yeah. So fucking Alamo Draft House, Tim League, the guy who runs that shit, is like also a fucking weirdo, but that's neither here nor there.
What?
I can't
he's
fucking
in the film
believe it.
industry?
I can't fucking believe it. And so Devin was then ousted from that company even further because they noticed that he wasn't actually ousted from that company. And then I think, I could be wrong, but I heard a rumor once that they rehired him as a chef. Which is very funny, but I don't know if that's true.
So Alamo Draft House Weinsteined him?
Yeah, kind of. Anyway, Devin Faraci is like not worth the trouble. Is how I always put it. It's like a lot of people used to read him a whole lot and like cared about what he said, mostly because he saw the Holy Mountain like before a lot of people saw the Holy Mountain. But that doesn't necessarily make you hot shit or anything. It just means he had takes and was in the right place. But like either way, he is in the Jodorowsky documentary, and they treat him like he's a real guy, like a real critic, like he's important. And it's kind of like if they just randomly cut to the quartering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or nostalgia critic.
Yeah, it's just like, here's Doug Walker talking about something serious. Do you believe him? You know, and so it's just fucking insane. So anyway, Jodorowsky fans are a little bit 50-50 is my point. And also that documentary, while I think it achieves its goals, Devin Faraci is a big old joke. Have a laugh for Devin. So there's Devin for you. Yeah. I actually, film critic people. No, we can't do this. This is a podcast about Sante Sangre.
No, do it.
Okay. Okay. So living in Texas and being in the film world basically meant that I interacted with a lot of people who interacted with a lot of critics, like directly. And so like Devin, a lot of people have firsthand experience with Devin.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody kind of is like, yeah, you kind of an asshole in there. But there was a worse critic. What was his fucking name? Harry something. Knowles. Harry Knowles. Him. Yes. So Harry Knowles. The thing to say about Harry Knowles is he very recently got canceled. Canceled? I don't even know if that's like a thing you can say happened to Harry Knowles, because like who the fuck gives a shit what Harry Knowles has to say in the first place? But like pretending that people give a shit. Harry Knowles fucking like is a creep and a weirdo. Like is a total creeped on women forever.
What?
And so two things.
And he was a film critic?
Yeah, well, so two things. Number one thing was that he like texted a woman in the middle of the night once and said, "Hi, I'm watching Blue Velvet and it's getting me really horny." And it's like, Blue Velvet is objectively a film about rape culture. That's a big yikes.
That's a weird takeaway from Blue Velvet.
A weird takeaway from a film about rape culture. But whatever. No, the reason I bring up Harry Knowles, which is also just completely a distraction from the fact that this is a Jodorowsky podcast. Harry Knowles once reportedly didn't like a movie, so he took his, I'm not shitting you, diaper off in the middle of the movie that was filled with shit and put it under the seat of the person in front of him and like laughed about it when they found it. Like, he just started laughing maniacally. Now, this is just something I heard. So, if
allegedly.
It's not true. You know, I also heard that Gary Busey cheated on his wife in Irving, Texas. So, I know a lot of shit about things that nobody gives a shit about. But Harry Knowles, I think, absolutely took some shit and put it under somebody's chair and laughed. That did happen.
Impressive. Why, who thinks like that?
Harry Knowles.
Anyway.
So follow-up question. Are film critics all fucked in the head? And does this mean that we too are all so fucked in the head?
I like to see myself as a film connoisseur.
Connoisseur.
I'm not a film critic.
I enjoy film. Yeah.
Well, because I feel like on our podcast, we either like rant about how deranged the people who make bad films are. Like, we don't really, it's like, you know, film's bad. We're more interested in the why as to the how the film is bad. You know, so and most of the times we're talking about films we like and are very, very good, and we're not like, I don't know, being
hey baby,
critics.
I just watched Blue Velvet. It's got me rock hard.
When I feel like anyone who's watched Blue Velvet knows to stay the fuck away from that.
Oh my god!
Like that entire movie.
That's the point of the movie.
Is David Lynch being like,
"Hey, if some guy ever does this shit, just don't
stay away from Hollywood."
Bad vibe, guys.
Bad vibes.
Yeah. So I don't know what it is with Austin film critics, but they're on some shit. So fucking Devin and Harry, fuck them. So bringing that all back around, we had to endure these assholes being basically the only people that were reporting on experimental film like this in any sort of actual, meaningful, detailed way. Like, they were genuine experts on the topic for like 2 fucking decades.
Right.
Like, we had to listen to this shit. Anyway, and this all culminates, unfortunately, in Jodorowsky's Dune, which is like simultaneously a movie that is endorsing the fact that Jodorowsky was fucking impossible to work with on a financial and creative level.
Right.
Had the worst ideas. I mean, also, just like in hindsight, I'm sorry, like, a lot of people stand the fuck out of this. So if you stand the fuck out of this, I'm super sorry, but I don't know. Having seen both David Lynch's Dune and the newest, I don't know about Jodorowsky's ideas really.
No,
I think they were visionary in image.
Well, because I don't think I think Jodorowsky is the polar opposite of Frank Hubbard. Herbert?
Yeah, I mean,
Can't remember the author's
when
name.
they asked Jodorowsky like why he picked Dune, he was like, I saw it and I went, ooh.
Yeah,
Like he didn't fucking read it and go, yes, this is my story.
Yeah.
So he criticized the shit out of it.
Dune is all about grounded, political bullshit,
Right.
in space,
Right. And
because Frank, I think it's Herbert.
Yes.
Frank Herbert would like literally be like,
go to space.
well, he would go and he would talk to like architects. He'd be like, how do I do this? And he would go and he'd talk to like political theorists and be like, oh, how do I do this? What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because he talks about in interviews is how he would create things is he would literally like cold call people with doctorates in the fields he wanted to know about,
right,
and just see if they'd talk to him.
Yeah.
And so it's like so everything Herbert did is very, very based in like in
something serious,
like intellectual like vigor, whereas Jodorowsky is like, let's go fucking wild.
And it's like, I will pay Salvador Dali to be in this movie for $10 billion a minute.
And it's like
and his producer is like, I'm sorry, did you say $10 billion per minute of screen time? Well, how many minutes? 3. God damn it, dude. That's not gonna work. Like,
yeah.
And so it's just kind of like, I think something happened in the 80s to Jodorowsky. I think that's our big point here, is that like, I think the failure of Dune, while it like really fucked up his whole like vibe and his life, I also think that, the ideas from his Dune movie basically got out into the world and have been seen.
Yeah.
And have been made by artists that actually I feel genuinely knew what to do with them. Like fucking Ridley Scott, like in Alien, like picking H.R. Geiger. It was like,
well,
no brainer, just fucking make a horror movie, dude.
Yeah, well, like it's like I love how he made a cult of cinema sci-fi. Like, and he talks about in the documentary where he's like, I'm gonna build a cult. He's like, I'm not looking for people who just want to do a job. I'm looking for fanatics.
Yeah.
And so he builds this cult of sci-fi. The project falls through. Then they all go and work on Alien.
Yeah, exactly. They just move right on.
So
over.
he unintentionally just made like Hollywood sci-fi.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So we're getting further off track.
Well, no, we're not.
We're not.
Like the big major point that I'm trying to make before we hit this ad break is as follows. I think that something happened to Jodorowsky in the 70s, and it fucked up his career. And it was Dune falling apart, but also he had this kind of, when he returned to cinema, is a different attitude. It's very visually noticeable, I feel like. Watching Sante Sangre versus watching like The Holy Mountain, very different languages.
Right.
He comes across a bit more, I would say, seasoned. In a weird way, I think Sante Sangre is very mature in its ideas.
Yeah.
In a way that Holy Mountain, while being great, is very immature.
Well, it's also a lot more.
I feel in its ideas.
It's a lot more focused.
Yes, like
Holy Mountain is literally about everything.
Yeah,
like El Topo is 2 distinctly different movies.
Well, and so it's kind of like Kanye. He comes out. Jodorowsky comes out swinging. Everybody's like, he's a fucking genius, and then he's like, I gotta make another fucking beat, dude. And so he makes The Holy Mountain, and it's like genuinely a step up from the thing everybody was calling genius prior to that. And so then it's like, well, clearly Mr. Genius needs to get $1 billion and go make a book about sci-fi shit. And he's like, I make art films about religion. And they're like, it doesn't fucking matter. Get in there, And it just like turns into this thing that he didn't want. He shouldn't have been doing. Like genuinely, he's a weird. He went to clown college. Like he went to fucking clown college, guys.
Yeah.
Why did you give what compelled him to do Dune? Like, he write a script. Like, don't do that shit. I don't know. I just genuinely feel like as time has passed, I've grown to think that whole Jodorowsky's Dune being this crown jewel of cinema that never happened is kind of like a bullshit idea, and I think that it's mostly perpetuated by stupid people. And I'm not saying like stupid people, but I mean like Devin fucking Faraci.
How are you gonna think that it's the greatest movie ever made when there isn't a fucking movie?
There isn't a movie, and the reason there isn't a movie is because he fucking failed. Like, he failed to do it. And it's not to say that he couldn't like stand there and direct these people and be like, no, you are going to say, you know. And I'm not saying that the movie wasn't gonna be
good,
fucking weird and awesome. I mean, but also there's this documentary about like the island of Dr. Moreau and how that fell apart.
Yeah.
And it's like Richard Stanley was not that great of a director, to tell you the truth. I mean, I've seen all of his movies. And because the documentary really sucks his dick, they're like, oh yeah, he's like a successful new voice in Hollywood. And then like, well, Bob Shea didn't like him, so he was just fucked. And it's like, no. Have you seen his fucking movies? They're not that good. Anyway.
I love every story I hear of Marlon Brando just being unhinged.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, and see, you know, you get the nice minutia in there that you really want, but I mean, the main point is people that can't get people together to make a fucking movie, and they like hesitate, they fuck up, they have bad ideas, they don't understand what they're doing, like financially. Like, unfortunately, you are fighting a war with a system that is run by money. Mm-hmm. So if you go in there and just be like, money is no object,
burn
like,
your money.
Yeah, it's like that's not actually gonna work with these people. So he enters this like system that is not gonna appreciate or understand him at all. Mm-hmm. It fucks him up, and then his whole thing becomes, fuck, I like my independence.
Yeah.
You know, I like my hands too much. Mm-hmm. And I guess my take in there, my little takey poo there, is just that I think Sante Sangre is a movie that is almost more personal than any of the other movies that he made. Because he's just like, just being straight up about it. Cindy, Jesus Christ, did you really you came over here about 30 minutes ago. You smoked some of my weed, okay? You started problems all over the room, and now you're crying. It was a sativa,
What else
dear.
do you have to say, Cindy?
What else do you have to say for yourself?
All right. Nope,
nothing?
All right. Well,
she's a little shy. Let's hit up the
let's hit the ads. Way too late, and I'm sorry.
They're not gonna fucking worry about it.
We're processing a bit. Give us a second.
Well, hello there. How can I help you?
Oh, I'm looking for the finest RPG.
The finest RPG, like the best
finest,
one?
Yes.
Okay, well, so you're gonna want to go down here and take a left.
Uh-huh.
All right. If you see the church, you've gone too far. It's not that far of a left. Like, it's the next left. Okay. And at the next left, you're going to find #iHunt, produced by my friends Philomena and Olivia, who sponsor the show. Hi guys, welcome to the ad break. If you
Ad break Avenue.
Yeah, Ad break Avenue.
If you take a left, or a left from #iHunt, you get to Blood Thing,
which is sponsoring. I can actually say this now.
You can?
They're sponsoring a music festival. Yes. Blood Thing is sponsoring a music festival.
Hell yeah.
And I'm playing at the fucking music festival, bitch. That's right. It's a digital one, like on Twitch. It's going to be on 420. Blaze it, my homies. Like, we're going to be... I don't know, I'm dropping an album that day, too. Haha. You never... Oh, surprise! Anyway, that's what happens if you take a left. You drop an album, you work with Blood Thing, and you end up with a fucking show doing a digital show.
If you take a right on Ad Read Avenue.
Yes, on Ad Read Avenue.
You get to Ambient Dream Studio. It's an Etsy store. Psychedelic shit. If you listen to the podcast, I can just about guarantee you'll like what's in there.
Yeah, I mean,
if you like
the like ideas that we spout, then you'd probably have a pretty vivid, fucked up imagination. And so you need to guide that imagination down the digital wonderland that is the visual image. Speaking of having a fucked up brain, I wrote a book and it has been published by myself. And it's already it's sold out so many fucking times now that it's kind of fucking silly. But I just reordered more. So if you want to pick up my book, you can head on over to nickspears.bandcamp.com/merch. Thank you.
All right. So
Also, if you wanna toss us money for ads in the future, because as you could hear, we're really good at them.
we're professionals.
We're very
very,
professional.
very good.
You can do that over at patreon.com/excrement. Also, just sponsor the show. I mean, like, we just moved to Colorado. It's expensive out here. You're gonna need to throw Neo a buck or two. I mean, he does have a new job, but I mean, like, you know, he could still use a nickel,
Yeah. One whole nickel.
a crisp, shiny nickel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Back to Sante Sangre.
What's Sante Sangre?
It's the movie we've been talking about.
What? Talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's when you move your mouth.
Oh, god damn it. I forget. So, Sante Sangre is like, yes, his 80s movie, and it's the one that like demonstrates to me that his big main concern at this point in his life was his independence.
Mm-hmm.
He was more concerned about his independence and perhaps the way that society has molded even him.
Right.
I think that that's something that's personified in the Dance of Reality. Like later on, like he's talking about how society and life literally molded him. And so I feel like Sante Sangre is more or less a depiction of his life without directly it just being his life.
Right.
So when we watch the Dance of Reality, it's going to be very weirdly parallel to this movie, and you're going to be like, wow, this is fucking weird.
Well, how much of Sante Sangre do you think is him contemplating how he raises his children?
Fuck, that's a very good point. Contemplating how he raises his, yes. Well, because like the previous decade of his life was characterized by him taking his children, stripping them of their clothes, and having them run around in movies.
Yeah.
A little weird.
Right.
Maybe he was thinking about that. Maybe he was like, damn, maybe I shouldn't be doing this to these kids.
Right. Well, and it's like,
It didn't stop him.
No. Oh God, no.
Not at all.
But it's like, El Topo, the father's a bastard, but he's also the protagonist.
Yeah.
And I don't think Holy Mountain deals with like fatherhood very much.
Not really.
It like shows him as a
concerned about
mentor to his sons, but this movie like really delves into like how fathers pass on masculinity to their children.
Right.
It's, something that in some way, shape, or form he did intrinsically to his sons.
Yes.
So I wonder I wonder if he's critiquing if he thinks he did a good job and he's critiquing other like men or
Fuck other men. Put your son's dick in a movie.
or is he seeing himself as the father? Like,
why did I put my son's dick in a movie? It's
Yeah.
one of the two.
Yeah.
I like this idea a lot. I like it a lot. I like the idea of him contemplating that back and forth. But then, here's a fun fact. In the Dance of Reality, Brontes Jodorowsky, his son, plays his father in the movie. And the opening scene...
Plays Jodorowsky's father?
Yes.
Oh.
His son plays his father. Haha. Yes, very clever. And the opening shot of it is Jodorowsky's son as his father walking into frame, pulling out his dick, and pissing on a radio until it explodes. So I guess he didn't feel too much remorse for the dick thing because he did make them do it again.
Brontes, I mean, once your kid's an adult,
Yeah, at that point, his dick's fair game.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, it's obviously like, the being semi autograph or
Autobiographical.
Autobiographical. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he obviously has takes on the form of masculinity that was passed down to him. But I just like I really want to know what he thinks about the masculinity he's passed down to his children.
Yeah, what does he think about his own influence and impact?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I would be curious to ask him that. Because, like, I will say that while I think El Topo and The Holy Mountain are objectively some of the best movies, I do also think that they're extremely egotistical.
Yeah.
On the part of him. I mean, not only are they, like, you know, scummy auteur bullshit, but also he like casts himself as basically the genius megamind overlord who is very smart and has all the right ideas.
Well, but in El Topo that fails him twice.
Well, and that movie I think is good for that purpose. I don't know. The Holy Mountain is more just him being like, "Hello, I'd like to explain my ideology to you in detail in the most egotistical imaginable way."
I think if El Topo didn't end with him getting fucked up because he has bad ideologies 2 times,
yeah,
I don't know. I do agree that he's very arrogant.
He's very arrogant, but he also like
I guess he's very prideful of how humble he is.
That's it. It's a humble brag bullshit.
Yeah.
It's humble brag bullshit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I like Sante Sangre because it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's him genuinely taking some shit to task in an emotionally clear way.
Is he even in the movie?
No.
Yeah.
There you go, right?
there you
Fucking
go.
finally, he realized, well, maybe I shouldn't be in the film.
Yeah.
A genius idea. Brilliant, even.
Yeah. Which was, I mean, it's weird because he does love having himself in his movies.
He sure does. And he likes to cast himself as just the coolest guy.
Yeah.
And then burn himself alive because he's humble.
Burn himself alive after he decimates everything he cares about.
Listen, life is really about doing enough acid that you watch The Holy Mountain and begin laughing at how fucking egotistical it is. Like, just a little, the arrogance starts to strike you. And it's just like, oh boy, he didn't intend for me to see through that particular curtain.
Yeah, it is.
Did he?
It is weird that you can get to you can get so prideful of your lack of an ego. You can just like redevelop an ego,
humble
like
brag
in
the
a
fuck
second.
out of it. And, you know, I read this is completely off topic, but like I read this post on Facebook a long time ago where somebody was just like, "Man, all these motherfuckers out here being like, psychedelics destroyed my ego and it made me a better person," and it's like, no, it bolstered your fucking ego.
Yeah.
It like chatted you up, you piece of shit. Now you're awful. Like, you were fine before. So, like, it's like Henry Rollins has that bit where he's like, somebody was like, do some LSD, it'll make you stop being an asshole.
Yeah.
And then he's like, at the end, he's like,
He does, like,
fuck, I don't know. Am I still an asshole? I don't know.
Well, he does like 4 doses, like
Yeah.
like just back to back, like all at the same time. And then he goes back to the guy you told him. And he's like, "Am I still an asshole?"
It didn't work. And I don't know. It's just like it was a truly humble experience versus, you know, somebody who goes, "I'm gonna make a movie about how much I learned on acid today."
Yeah.
Like, ooh, okay. Anyway, Sante Sangre is good, actually.
Yeah, I like it. You know, thinking about it, I don't know if it or Holy Mountain is my favorite Jodorowsky film.
Yeah.
I think it's the most approachable out of the 3.
I agree with you.
Because it has a very concise point, and it doesn't.
There's no bullshit in there.
No.
Yeah, he just like gets to the point.
Where like I love Holy Mountain because it is all bullshit. There is no point.
Yeah, exactly. It is all bullshit.
But I also love Sante Sangre because it has a point. It is a movie you can show someone, and then receive it as a movie instead of as a weird manifesto.
Right. That's a good way of putting it. The Holy Mountain is a manifesto
Yeah.
Like,
The Holy Mountain is if Ted Kaczynski liked
fuck.
cameras.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Do you think Ted? Do you think Teddy did acid
I don't know if you'd trust it.
or shrooms? I bet he trusts shrooms.
I bet he would try shrooms. Actually, you know, Ted. No, I'm sorry, not Ted Cruz. What's his fucking Rick Perry, the Texas governor, the old Texas governor. He's like one of the biggest advocates for shrooms because apparently he did some shrooms and it's just like he went, "Oh, I'm an asshole," and he fucking changed his whole life, and now he like is all about shrooms. Now maybe he's still an asshole. He probably is.
Absolutely still an asshole.
Absolutely,
he was
still
the
an
governor
asshole.
of Texas.
Yeah, not a good thing. But I do just love the idea of him just being like, "Well, fuck, shrooms are great. Maybe we should legalize." I don't know. That's pretty good. Yeah. So now we're talking about psychedelics and Rick Perry. So I think we need to make some judgment calls on this here film. You said that you couldn't tell if it was your favorite, this or The Holy Mountain. I mean,
well, it's either my favorite or my second favorite, and it's very, very close.
Yeah, one's a manifesto and one's a secret manifesto.
Yeah, one's
very mature of him to put the manifesto idea aside and actually make a goddamn movie.
Where Holy Mountain is he's shotgunning a lot of very broad like he's giving you the streamlined ideology he has about everything.
Right.
Like Sante Sangre is a very direct, like, this is what here's like 2 hours of me talking about masculinity and how how toxic masculinity interacts with like women and your mother.
Yeah. And I you know what this is? Oh my god. There's an Onion video that Nora showed me yesterday that is like some guy who's like, "Yeah, I voted for Trump. I regret it, but because I read intersectional queer feminist theory." And so it's like this boomer guy, and he's just like, "Yeah, I started listening to POC and, non-binary people, and it helped me learn that, even genderqueer identities and trans identities and gay identities are all valid and oppressed in our country, and that intersects very well with feminism." And so it was just like it was like a very it was very extra. Like, but like the the comparison could not be made closer, I think, with Sante Sangre, where it feels like The Holy Mountain, while being a movie about toxicity in the world, had weird, occasionally good takes on masculinity, but also just an undercurrent of, endorsing the masculine principle and idea.
Right.
Kind of almost endorsing some sorts of patriarchal ideas about people needing, like men needing to, rise to some sort of task. Sante Sangre comes across like that fucking Onion video where he's like, "Yeah, I used to think that about masculinity, but then I read some queer feminist theory about POC people and non-binary people, and now I've completely changed my mind." So, like, it comes across like he feels a little regret. His visible regret. Not an emotion one expects to see from Jodorowsky, regret, but I get a sense of it in this. So I'm gonna throw it in the gold pile because I like it.
Absolutely.
But you know what I'm gonna throw in the shit pile?
What?
The Master of Disguise. We watched that the other day. We watched that shit the other day, and
no.
I genuinely turned to Neo and I was like, "Hey Neo, do you And I put my fingers together, like in the gay way, and I was like, "Hey Neo, do you?"
The bottom way.
Yeah. And I was like, "Do you wanna like do you want to do a podcast about Master of
The
Disguise?
worst movie ever made.
And oh fuck balls fuck. Like, we didn't make it very far before we like turned to each other and determined that A, it wasn't a movie, and B, it was the worst movie.
Yeah.
So it was like, I just want to throw in, hi everybody. We're not going to do an episode about it. There's nothing to talk about other than Dana Carvey does very bad impressions for not even an hour and 10 minutes, by the way. It's not even a movie. Anyway, that goes in the shit pile in this episode. Just, I don't care. Hi everybody. That I'm going to put the Master of Disguise in the shit pile. This is an honorable mention in the midst of the Sante Sangre going in the gold pile. I just feel like some scales need to be balanced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you throw something in the gold pile, you immediately got to put some shit in there. So I just want everybody to know, Master of Disguise is still shit.
Yep.
Like, what, 20 years later?
I don't even know.
So, Neo, what did you think of the Master of Disguise?
It's shit, and I don't talk about it anymore. All right. See y'all later.
Wait,
Patreon.com/excrement.
Whoa, did you put Sante Sangre in the gold pile?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
All right, go to Denver.
What?
You're done. Your obligation has been fulfilled.
Okay.
Go have fun with your friends.
I'm not going to Denver.
You're not?
No.
Where are you going?
I'm going to my room to edit the podcast.
Right now?
Yeah. I also play Werewolf the Masquerade.
Oh, Werewolf.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Werewolf night. When are you going to Denver?
I
thought that was happening today.
No.
Oh, I thought it was racing the clock so that you could go to Denver.
They're racing the clock so I can pretend to be a werewolf.
Holy shit! This means we get bonus Neo time. I thought I was losing my Neo today.
Well,
for some Denver.
Yeah.
I thought you were trading some May for some Denver. You know.
Well, yeah.
Some of that sweet Denver.
Yeah.
Do you want to leave the podcast? Should we quit the podcast? Oh.
Probably.
Okay, good idea. Thank you all for attending. Please go to patreon.com/excrement at any moment. Shit in our hand so we may eat. I love you. And don't forget to buy my book immediately or else you're a bad friend.
Yeah. All right. See
I'll
you later.
See you later.